the Havoc Demon Hunter. You guys just cannot get enough of these. Anyways, here is the updated 9.2 guide. If you want the most comprehensive Havoc guide in Shadowlands that I did, click the link in the top right. So let's get to it so you can know in 9.2 how to play with
these nuts. Got it!
So let's just start with the talents, obviously. We are going Fellblade for gap closing and Fury generation. Demon Blades, obviously, for additional shadow damage and more generation of Fury. We don't use the Blind Fury build in PvP. Do not be weird. Unbound Chaos for that extra 500% damage from Fell Rush after we obviously use Immolation Aura. The fourth row, as usual, if it's a double melee cleave, you could go for Desperate Instincts so you don't have to cooldown manage the blur, but I would recommend either Soul Rending for extra leech, especially in Metamorphosis, or Netherwalk if you know you're gonna get bursted by, let's say, a rogue or a hunter and you know you will not survive the one shot, so you basically pick Netherwalk. First Blood for bigger blade dance damage, which also goes well with the Chaos Theory legendary if you want to play with that, and the Dancing with Fate Conduit. Fell Eruption for that extra CC, and that's done, oh boy, it does come in handy and it deals damage. Or you could go Master of the Glaive if you want an extra slow for targets harder to kite, for example druids. And also you might want to use this to not interfere with your teammates' type of CCs so you don't trigger those DR moments, such as rogues. Thanks, Dip. And it also helps with Fodder to the Flame if you happen to need to kill the demon quick because you're probably dying or something. Or you want to burst the target with the Fodder to the Flame damage and trigger that Fiery Brand from the second Lego of Necrolord. And the last talent, we go Demonic. There's no other viable talent in this row. You have to keep that Metamorphosis up as much as possible. For PvP talents, if you have the 4 pieces of the tier set, currently I have 5 here, which gives you the set bonus, with Metamorphosis duration increased by 6 seconds and every 60 Fury you consume reduce the cooldown of your Metamorphosis by 1 second, you will pick Demonic Origins as one of the talents, because the uptime of the Metamorphosis will be increased, since you will have way less cooldown and way more availability for the Metamorphosis spell. If you don't have the tier set, then pick another talent. Do not pick Demonic Origins unless you have the set, the 4 set. Obviously for healers and classes with good self-heal, I'm looking at you, Retro Paladins, pick Mortal Dance. Blade Dance reduces the Blade Dance reduces target's healing received by 25% for 5 seconds. And you know, we use Blade Dance with all the bonuses, with First Blood, with Dancing with Fate, and if you want Chaos Theory Legendary. All come hand in hand. You can also pick Reverse Magic. If you encounter Shamans or Mages, for example, and you want to get out of those roots faster, since they are magical and you can reverse them. Isolated Prey is great overall, except for Double Melee Cleave, because they will stay close to each other and you will not have that distance when using one of the 3 spells which are improved by this talent. I also like sometimes to pick Detainment, you know, to make targets who are affected by Imprison immune to damage so I don't cancel that CC, because probably I need a target to be CC'd long enough for us to kill the other target, or maybe there's like a burst that target does and I want to help my teammate and there's no other CC available or something. But usually as a default, it's Isolated Prey, Demonic Origins, and Mortal Dance. And if you don't have the 4 piece, I would go Chaotic Imprint, Isolated Prey, Mortal Dance. This is like base, unless you have cases for Reverse Magic and Detainment. You can also, for example, if the targets don't have healing, like, I don't know, Mage Rogue, for example, you can just swap Mortal Dance for Detainment or for Reverse Magic and you can play like this. And swap also Chaotic Imprint for Demonic Origins if you have the tier set. You get the idea. For the Legendaries, the best sustained damage legendary and the best legendary overall, I would say, is Burning Wound. But Burning Wound only if you play with a healer. With a DPS, you're gonna have a hard time surviving, even if you play Necrolord. Like if you have some off heal done by your teammate, which is probably a Feral Druid, for example, then you can pull it off. But other than that, it will affect our survivability, but Burning Wound comes in handy with that sustained dot. Rogues have a harder time to get into stealth without using Banish. It's great overall. Sustained damage. Rogues don't go into stealth, win. I also tried in my previous video, you can check it up here, the Chaos Theory Legendary. It has insane burst potential. Basically, it makes your Chaos Strike deal 50% more damage and its chance to refund Fury is increased by 60% for 8 seconds. You want to use this paired with Fellblade sometimes because you might not have enough Fury to use Chaos Strike and you might not have that chance to refund Fury. But overall, if you are getting this perk, Chaos Strike does insane damage in Metamorphosis and outside of Metamorphosis. It's super strong for burst, but sometimes if the RNG is not on your side, you will not get a proc. That's why Burning Wound is better, because you will get a proc as the first auto attack, or Demon's Bite if you don't play Demon Blades. Go play Demon Blades, what the fuck. You know, gap close with Fellblade, come on now. So I would say for burst potentials, and maybe probably have a priest to keep you up all the time, you could use Chaos Theory. If you want to go the safer route and know you're gonna deal a lot of damage anyways, and you're not gonna have to rely on some proc, go Burning Wound. And obviously obviously, if you're not playing with a healer and you want to sustain yourself and you want to have a lot of survivability, pick Collective Anguish. You guys know this is one of my favorite legendaries because it does keep you up a lot using that extra fell devastation plus the fiery brand from the second legendary for the Father to the Flame. So it's very good if you play double DPS, especially if the targets focus you instead of your teammate, and your teammates has more burst capability than you. And the second legendary, obviously, it's Demonic Oath, because the best covenant for a Havoc Demon Hunter, for me, it's definitely Necrolord. Great survivability, great sustained damage, sometimes good burst with Father to the Flame. Overall, it completes the spec. Because as a Demon Hunter, you are easily CC'd and easily bursted down. So you need some survivability, which Fleshcraft provides. And sometimes, if you think you're gonna be CC'd, you can cast Fleshcraft and you cannot be CC'd in Fleshcraft, and they have to interrupt the Fleshcraft. And sometimes, for example, that means they don't have an interrupt anymore, and you can use I-Beam to its full duration, but don't play with Blind Fury, don't be weird. And obviously the Father to the Flame gives you huge amount of healing. I know it's RNG, but when it happens, you can turn the game around. I have a lot of PvP videos on this channel, and you can see how they turn a complete game around. Like even on the last video with the Chaos Theory Legendary, I basically 1v2'd 2 players because I got the healing in time. I could kill one target and I killed the other target, and I had Metamorphosis up because I have Demonic Origins and I have the 4-piece. Easy. It's overall better compared to Night Fae, although Night Fae has the Hunt, and the Hunt really deals a lot of damage, but you need to be sneaky about it. Most people know how to counter the Hunt. For example, if a DK has AMS on, you will not really have a good time. And other than that, you have Soul Shape to kite if you're in trouble. So you need a very good healer with Night Fae if you want to survive. It's overall great for burst, but I wouldn't recommend it for like longer arenas. And we know from a certain rating, arenas take a lot of time, and that dampening kicks in, and I don't think you'll survive that much as Night Fae. You could, but I think you'll put way more effort into just staying alive until that next hunt comes in, and you would need a good moment to actually cast it. That is just not worth it. Necrolord is overall more balanced. You have survivability and some damage. And Emini gives you magic resist when you cast Fleshcraft, so that's a plus against casters. So yeah, the second legendary for Necrolord is Demonic Oath. Your Father to the Flame demon explodes, and the targets hit by that explosion get Firebrand on them, which means they're gonna deal reduced damage to you. Even better if you are getting bursted down. The Night Fae one just gives you Immolation Aura and 4% more agility per target hit. But probably you're gonna hit only one target with that hunt. Especially that we have a lot of healer comps right now. And you could go Night Fae if you are sure that the one-shot potential is there. I did that sometimes with Dip if we knew we could lock in on a target and just both start, like rogue stun and everything, and I go with the hunt. If we're sure that happens, good. As Soulbinds, I play with Plague Divisor or Emini. Plague Divisor when I play against healers, for example. Kevin Oozling really comes in handy because enemies take increased damage from you. And sometimes I play Emini when I have like casters, because Father to the Flame gives you 5% agility, allies get 2% primary stat, you get 2% more agility, which means probably one teammate, because I'm talking about 2v2 mostly. But you also get maximum health from the Emini's Magnificent Skin, and if you're above 90% health, you gain a shield which gives you 12k magic damage absorption. Pretty great. And with Pussy Eruption, you can use these pustules to damage people. Basically, when you take damage or are healed, you pop a pustule dealing 2k nature damage and healing 1k your targets. I usually play Emini only against casters, otherwise I go with Plague Divisor overall. Also, I forgot to mention, for the PvP talents, I also use Rain from Above when I encounter double melee, like Red Paladin and DK, or Red Paladin and Handsome Shaman, and so on. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the 9.2 updated guide. If you did, give it a like, and if you're new here, click the subscribe button and the bell, and I will see you in the next informative videos. Peace!